Once an agricultural reservoir, there had long been rumours that a mother and child had drowned in Yohei Swamp, named after a man called Yohei. And now, long after death, their spirits still haunted the area, but they weren't alone. Over the years, numerous people had drowned in that swamp, and there were even rumours of murder as well. The swamp was so haunted that you could even see ghosts there during the day, like the white shadowy figures of two spirits that had been seen by Lion Cape. This isn't just a recent phenomenon either. Long ago, a woman visited Yohei Swamp to pick some wild vegetables. As she bent down by the side of the swamp to gather some vegetables, she sensed another presence nearby and looked up. In the grove of trees near the swamp, a large group of people, both men and women, and all wearing white kimonos, emerged from the trees. This sight was so bizarre and so frightening that the woman abandoned her vegetables and fled as fast as she could. Another time, during the Showa era, a man was walking alongside the lake. He too looked over at the nearby trees and, there, saw a woman wearing a white kimono, also walking close to the swamp up ahead of him. "Hello!" the man called out to her, surprised but not yet frightened at this odd sight. The woman did not speak to him, but she did bow politely in return. The pair soon crossed paths, but when the man turned around to look at her again, he was all alone, as though the woman had never even been there to begin with. And yet another time, a young boy made his way towards the southern end of the swamp to go exploring. As he approached Lion Rock, he noticed there was a man standing at the top of it. The boy opened his mouth to scream that it was dangerous to stand up there, but he had no time. The man waved at him, and then fell into the water. Terrified, the boy quickly ran to alert police that a person had fallen from the rock into the swamp, but even after the entire swamp was drained and searched, no body was ever found. Yohei Swamp can be found within Yohei Numa Park, just a few kilometers inland in Miyagi Prefecture, and a short distance from Sendai Station. It's not a very large swamp, measuring only a few hundred meters in length and roughly 50 meters at its widest, and it used to serve as an agricultural reservoir for the locals. The story goes that it was named after a local by the name of Yohei, who died there long ago, although there are also reports that it was named after a prominent member of the Suzuki family, who contributed their personal money to have the reservoir built back in the day. The true story seems to have been lost to the ages now, but either way, most people agree that the then reservoir, now swamp, was named after a man called Yohei. Now, you can find Yohei Swamp directly across from Masue Elementary School, and there is a walking path that circles its length. It's otherwise surrounded by thick, dense trees, and being a swamp, it's not terribly deep either. It used to be a popular swimming hole in the past, and was popular with fishermen as well. So then, how did this rather small and unassuming spot come to be known as haunted? It's unknown when or even how the rumours started, but one of the most famous stories told about Yohei Swamp is that a mother and daughter drowned in its murky waters, and after that, their spirits continued to haunt the area. There have reportedly been numerous sightings of them over the years, but no official evidence has ever been dug up indicating that such deaths ever took place there. It has been suggested that these rumours first popped up early in the Showa era, because students used to use Yohei Swamp for swimming lessons, and when faced with its shallow, dirty waters, it was only natural that kids would start talking about who might have died in there. According to locals, however, there have also long been rumours that Yohei Swamp was once a popular suicide spot, also in the early Showa era, and thus rumours of ghosts in the area have persisted until the modern day. This includes the groups of people seen wearing white kimonos, who may or may not be related to the legend of a kitsunezuka, or fox mound, nearby. and the occasional spirit jumping or falling into the water. In addition to the suicide rumours, there have also long been rumours of murders that have taken place in the area, perhaps thanks to how dense the surrounding forest is. Again, there is no official proof of any murders having ever taken place here, but ghost spots don't exactly need proof to thrive, do they? Another local has claimed that when they went to the elementary school across the road, there used to be a high fence around the area to keep students out, but that has since been removed and replaced with a walkway instead. Rumours at the school at the time claimed that it wasn't just a mother and child who had drowned in that swamp, but 12 different people all up, and it wasn't unknown for someone, usually a drunk, to fall into the water and need to be rescued. One of the people who died in the swamp was reportedly an old man who went camping by the swamp in 1964 or 65, while another was a high school student who drowned in a tragic accident. There were also rumours of a construction worker who hung himself nearby. One psychic medium from the Gibbo Kante office claimed to visit the site and encountered 7 or 8 spirits during their walk around the swamp, although none of them were especially powerful and certainly not strong enough to possess a person. The medium was unable to see the groups of people in white kimonos that have long been rumoured to haunt the area, but they did, apparently, encounter a single spirit, a woman, clad in white. The medium claimed the spirit was probably close to 80 years old and smiled gently at them from behind a tree. By the medium's assessment, the swamp was indeed haunted, but contrary to the rumours, was not a dangerous place. They also pointed out that if you wanted the strongest chance of seeing spirits in the area, then taking a walk around the swamp after 2 AM would net your best chance of encountering something otherworldly there. And so, if we believe the stories of locals, numerous people have died in the area over the years, but whether these are actually connected to hauntings from the swamp or just mere coincidences that happen to occur nearby, well, that's for you to decide. What is true is that the swamp has a long history, and over the years and decades, the many rumours surrounding it have not just persisted, but grown as well. Is Yohei Swamp truly haunted? Perhaps, or perhaps not. But that doesn't detract from the fascinating history of this tiny body of water regardless, and it's worth exploring even today. But what do you guys think about this one? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you again next time.